Yes, good. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pranam to all for joining with us on the second day of our IKS-TKDL workshop, Traditional Knowledge, Intellectual Property and People's Rights. Today, ma'am will talk about or will show us about what is the area of traditional knowledge. So with ma'am's expertise, ma'am is the head of TKDL unit. As we know, TKDL unit is the tool to protect as a defensive approach, protect our traditional knowledge. There are more than 5 lakh formulas TKDL has protected. And if we look into the subject in the TKDL, the Indian system of medicine, that is the core area. Last few years, ma'am has developed her team and made different divisions and incorporated another few domains. For example, meteorology, agriculture, and last time I saw environment science. These are the three big domains are included. So with ma'am's expertise, today we'll know how what are the examples and case study we can look into within our own domains. So ma'am will talk about more than 20 topics or subjects or disciplines where we can find out our own zone or own area where we can start incorporating IKS content within that domain. So we request all the participants, please make your mic in muted and please complete the session. Then we will complete our assessment part. That's a short assessment. There will be 5 MCQs and we request to complete all the assessment daily assessment, but because those are essential to in the process of evaluation, you will get certificate only whenever you will get the 75% marks all over. So we request, please follow the session, then we will come back after 50 minutes, then we'll go to our assessment session. Pranam to all. Pranam ma'am, please start your session. We'll listen.
Thank you. Thank you and namaste to all. Thank you, Piyush, for the introduction and for this wonderful coordination that you are doing with us for the workshop. This way.
Yes, ma'am.
Hard to see, right?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So today, what we will be doing is we will be talking about the Indian traditional knowledge and overview of the expanse. Just hold on, please. Just give me a minute. I think I'm
Yes,
just...
no problem.
All right. Sorry about that. Just let me know once you have the
Yes,
presentation. Yeah,
yes.
okay. Yeah, so good afternoon, everybody. Namaste to all. And thanks for this opportunity once again, Piyush, from the IKS division along with the CSIR-TKDL unit. So today what we will be talking is largely about the Indian traditional knowledge and overview of the expanse and significance. The second part of it, the TK-inspired innovations, I will talk to you all on Friday. So as you had seen yesterday, the Indian Knowledge Systems Division under the Ministry of Education is largely focused on parampara from the points of view of Drishti and Laukika Prayojana. And it is, largely again in the context of preserving and disseminating our knowledge systems for further research and as well as societal applications. And if you look at the traditional knowledge digital library, which you'll get to know more about this particular initiative of the Government of India in day after tomorrow's session. This is a very unique initiative of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and the Department of Indian Systems of Medicine and Homeopathy. It's a database of Indian traditional knowledge, as Piyush mentioned just now. It is largely focused on the Indian systems of medicine and health, that is Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Sovarikpa, as well as Yoga. And this has been primarily instituted to protect Indian traditional knowledge from erroneous patent grants and thereby preventing misappropriation and piracy of Indian traditional knowledge. So, with the common interest and as well as focus about protecting and promoting our Indian traditional knowledge, the Indian Systems Knowledge Systems Division, that is IKS division of Ministry of Education and the TKDL unit under the Ministry of Science and Technology, we have come together to organize these workshops. And as all of you are aware, it's going to be a 1.5 hour session every day for 7 sessions. That is 5 days of learning. 1 day assessment, and 1 day we have kept an interactive session on 1st of September. Should you have any queries, would be happy to answer you on that day, because sometimes the time is limited every day, so we are trying to have as much interaction with each of you following this. So today's actually the even the TK inspired innovations was clubbed today, but I thought in the interest of time we will split it. So today I'll be focused only on the expanse and significance of Indian knowledge systems. So when you look at this our Indian traditional knowledge. Professor Ganti Murthy yesterday, he explained the vastness of our Indian traditional knowledge. And when we talk to you about the traditional knowledge of India, you need to appreciate that much of our traditional knowledge is both codified and as well as oral. And in fact, there was an interesting comment yesterday from one of the participants saying that are we also focus on the oral traditional knowledge? And the answer is a resounding yes. If you look at our codified traditional knowledge, it is all in the form of Sahityas, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the poetry, and of course the systems of medicine, health, food, agriculture, and many other topics. And the beauty of all of it is that it is present in our own languages. So languages also become very important part of the heritage. While we are talking of our traditional knowledge of India, again, in the context, you'll get to know more about it in the coming few days. We are talking of course, the oral traditional knowledge, which has passed on from one generation to the other. But then, if you look at it, when you talk of codified knowledge, may I request all of you to please keep yourself on mute? Yeah, so the codified traditional knowledge can be even rock inscriptions, it can be metal inscriptions, the palm leaf manuscripts, or any other manuscripts, and so on and so forth. And of course, even the performing arts, when we talk about music, dance, theater, drama, and all that, even that is part of our heritage, and it is an important part of our cultural expressions. But when we talk of the oral traditional knowledge, it assumes greater significance because the knowledge holders are the custodians of that particular knowledge, and the respect is high because they are still preserving this, very long, I mean, years of tradition that has been passed on from several generations within their community, within their families, and so on and so forth. So the context when we speak about the traditional knowledge of India will be distinct when we talk about codified traditional knowledge and as well as the oral traditional knowledge. When we talk about our heritage, as again Professor Murthy mentioned yesterday, we largely, it is, today's world, it is largely considered as perhaps, blind beliefs, superstitions, and perhaps non-scientific also. But if you go back and read the text, it kind of tells that even our ancestors have been largely trying to find truth. Okay, and the truth could differ in the context of what is it that you're looking at. So when you look at this Nyaya or Pramana Shastra, it is the science of correct knowledge. So there have been aspirations by our ancestors to understand that correct knowledge. And they say that when you are talking about knowledge, there are four important conditions. One is the subject of Pramana, the object of Prame, cognition of Pramiti, and the nature of the knowledge itself, that is the Pramana. And here our texts also talk about the four Pramanas for acquiring knowledge. One is the direct perception, that is pratyaksha. One is the anumana, that is you infer something out of it. And in all of this, there is also the greater importance of analogy, that is upamana, or shabda, that is the verbal testimony. When you go back and again look at texts, we are largely focused on the Indian systems of medicine. So when I look at Ayurveda, the Charak Samhita talks of use of logic in medicine. So it is not just that, somebody has said something, it has been passed on to somebody else, and blindly that particular practice or skill is, being implemented. No, that's not right. When you look at, the systems of medicine, they try to understand the clinical history in current terms, that is clinical history of the patient, and only after that, the medicine is given. In fact, Shushruta Samhita talks about the importance of interdisciplinary research. In fact, here it is given to understand that when a person is taught medicine, okay, and he should ensure that
ये
his
एक
knowledge is complete.
वर्कशॉप हो रही है प्रीतम.
Yeah, this knowledge is complete. So a person graduates as a physician only when he understands more than what medicine is. So here, for example, in Ayurveda, the practice has been that before graduation, the student is sent to the forest to pick up certain herbs and then come back and then say for what that particular herb is used. Okay, only when he or she fulfills that test, the person is allowed to graduate and practice as a physician. So this has been the case even in our ancient times. It's not that, we are talking of examinations, tests, and only after certain tests are, cleared, you become a scholar. So again, when you talk of our Indian knowledge systems, it's largely been, pretty holistic. If in case, you can go back and look at certain of our ancient forms of education, you would understand the importance of Sattigeri, that is a 64 art form. So here, when we talk of interdisciplinary research or transdisciplinary research in today's terminology, you go back and look at this Chaturshashti and you look at right from, Geet Vidya, largely the cultural expressions, to Nritya Vidya, painting, and many other aspects. You would see that people not only look at these cultural expressions, but also there is a carpentry, there is engineering, there is metallurgy, there is mineralogy, there is vriksha ayurveda, and so on and so forth. So there is a interdisciplinarity that balances cultural expressions and knowledge itself. So, food happens to be our main, what do you say, to something that gives us life, right? water and food. So when you talk about traditional food and nutrition, I'm only giving you a glimpse of the information in today's workshop. It is not going to be exhaustive. People who are interested in knowing more about the knowledge systems of from the country are requested to do further literature search. We are only providing you how vast and how broad Indian knowledge systems has been. Of course, India is a very old country, so our heritage runs over thousands and thousands of years. So when you look at food and nutrition, there are several classical texts. One is the Kakadarpanam of Maharaja Nala, Supashastra by Mangarasa, Bhojana Kutuhala by Raghunatha Ganesha, Kshema Kutuhala by Kshema Sarma, and Shivatattva Ratnakara by Basavaraja. So if you look at the text, it's again not blind beliefs. Of course, even today we have largely traditional food at our homes. But if you look at these texts also, for example, if I talk of Kshema Kutuhala, it talks about the dietetics and the culinary art, that is the Pakashastra or the Pakakala. And the text contains 12 chapters called the Utsavas, right from the 7 types of Dravya Pakas to the utensils for cooking, the qualities of the physician and cook. Here, both physician and cook gain importance because the food is also meant for the royal families. Seasons and the routines, dinacharya, ritacharya, daily routine prescribed. It's about the non-vegetarian foods such as meat, fish, different vegetables that are being used for cooking, different types of flours that have been used, the cooked foods, the appetizers, and also dairy products are mentioned. So it kind of says there has been a logical and rational behind putting the information together in the context of whatever our ancestors have been practicing. Say, for example, if you look at the Pakadarpanam, just a glimpse of it, it is about making soup, dal variety. This particular information, the shloka that has come from this text, Pakadarpanam, it talks about different ingredients, and it also tells you that if you add whatever ingredient, how it is useful even from health conditions also. So there are diets just as simple foods, and some in today's context, what we call as functional foods. Again, in the context of food, there are different eating formats. You eat on a leaf, you eat on in a plate. Sometimes even for cooking, there are different ones, clay pots, sometimes the stone pots, and different kinds of this. Everything is mentioned to have a certain kind of value in it. So here, if you look at most of my slides, I have also given you the different references from which I have gathered the information. And I would like to point out here that when we talk of our traditional knowledge, it is not always that much of this information is available only in ancient texts. In recent times, you would see a lot of scholars writing good research review articles. So you would be able to gather more information from that as well, and then do further research in that. If you look at the traditional systems of medicine, right from the TKDL itself, I can tell you, if you look at our website, you will get more than or almost close to 300 references to the different systems of medicine, that is Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and Suvarikpa, and of course, yoga practices as well. So it gives you the vastness of the information. Just to give you one example of Charak Samhita of Ayurveda, again, this medicine is not blind belief. It has got, there's a lot of logic and rationale that has been used. If you look at the Charak Samhita, it contains 120 chapters. It is believed to have been, mentioned by Atreya and in Charaka in 200 BC and put together by Dridabala in 400 AD. And the key principles that are covered under this Charak Samhita is about diagnosis, it is about etiology, that is the causes of disease, the pathology and the pathophysiology, that is, how what does the disease do to the body, and of course, the treatment modalities and prevention as well. And if you look at the text, there are different sections. Sutrasthana is the fundamental principles, Nidhanasthana is the diagnostic principles, Vimana is the medical principles, Sharirasthana is about human being and genesis, Indriyasthana, and so on and so forth. So all I'm trying to draw your attention to is to the fact that if you look at any of our ancient texts, it is not just some thoughts put together. It has a lot of rationale in it, and at times they tell you what needs to be done, because you may also have side effects and many other aspects related to a medical condition or to a medical treatment. Just to kind of again give you a glimpse into the expanse of our Ayurveda and other Indian systems of medicine. For example, if you take Triphala, it is about three fruits put together, that is Amla, Viritake, and Haritake. Depending on what the carrier has been, it can be used for a different disease. Say, for example, when Triphala is taken with sugar, it is being used for the treatment of acid peptic disease. If you are taking the Triphala with as a decoction, it is used for a liver disease. If you take it with oil, it is again used for non-healing ulcers. And this is how, just to kind of give you a glimpse of it. You take one particular plant, that is Dinospora cordifolia, it's called Gudichi in Hindi. If you take Gudichi and you take it with ghee, that is as grita, it is used for Vata Vikara disease. If you use it with castor oil, it is used for Vata diseases. So a single plant, depending on what a carrier is, has been specifically mentioned for a specific disease. It's not that, one plant use anything and it will treat everything kind of. So there is, specificity mentioned in our ancient text. And that is what we are trying to capture even in the TKDL. You take another example of a disease. Here I've picked up an example of vitiligo, which is skin disorder. There is the loss of melanocytes and the skin appears as white patches. It's a social stigma also. And for the treatment of this vitiligo, you look at the options available across the different systems of medicine, right from Ayurveda to Unani to Siddha to homeopathy. And of course, alongside they also have yoga and other treatments. And what is also important besides this classical systems of medicine is the local health traditions, that is also called the oral traditional knowledge. So you have others such as, certain communities use powdered radish seeds along with vinegar. Sometimes turmeric and mustard oil are mixed together for treating this vitiligo. So it kind of tells that, how vast and expansive our traditional knowledge has been. India, of course, has been known to be a glorious country, and we've been very, very, conscious of beauty and of cosmetics, and everything else also becomes very important in this aspect. So there are, if you look at Ashtanga Deva book, you would find treatments, herbal treatments, herbal mineral treatments for pimples, premature graying of hair growth promotion, and so on and so forth. So this is something from there. Again, perfumery. If you look at Varahamira's Brihat Samhita, you will find, Gandhayukti and Gandharnava, that is how perfumes are made. So in this first shloka, that is shloka 10, they talk about 9 different ingredients used in specific proportions, and no any one proportion is used to twice the quantity. And if you look at the permutations and combinations, you arrive at almost 3.6 lakh options that are available using these 9 ingredients. And the 9 ingredients are Haritaka, Shankha, Ghana, Rasa, Valaka, Jaggery, Costus, Saileya, and Mustasheeds. Similarly, there is again what is called the Gandharnava, that is the perfume ocean. That is mentioned in shlokas 13 to 14 of the Brihat Samhita. So here again, it talks about 12 different ingredients, 16 different ingredients, and you can use any 4 of them. Okay. And if you look at the combinations, permutations and combinations of it, you arrive at a number 1.7 lakh odd options that one can arrive at. And again, the beauty of all of this is that they also mention the process. And here, something which is very, specific is that, wherever you have volatile ingredients, they say that that has to be done at the end.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Ma'am, you are not audible. You are on mute, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah, please
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
stop.
thank you.
Yeah, don't mute me and don't. Yeah, so it talks of. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it talks about not
Yes,
only
ma'am.
the final product or the good, it also
Yes,
talks
ma'am.
about the process as well. Moving on, I'd like to touch upon traditional agricultural practices. So there are lots of books again on traditional agriculture. So right from Krishi Parashara, from Surapala's Vrikshayurveda, Kautilya Arthashastra, Brihat Samhita that I just mentioned, to Kashapa Krishi Shukti, to Lokopakara by Chavundaraya. There are so many texts that are focused on our traditional agriculture. Again, the beauty of all of this is it covers crop husbandry, it covers animal husbandry, it also covers fisheries and integrative farming. So I'm trying to use both the traditional terminologies and modern terminologies to kind of give you an idea what it contains. And here, when we talk of agriculture, because this knowledge has largely been practiced by the farmers, and much of this knowledge is also being transmitted orally. What the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, which is also a scientific organization like the CSIR, they had documented a lot of these traditional oral practices. They call it the indigenous technical knowledge in agriculture and have brought out 7 volumes of these texts. And this is all available on the ICR website as well. And they did not stop with just the documentation of the traditional practices. They picked up a few of them, 38 of them, and they did the validation. So 23 out of the 38 were cross-sectoral validations. That is, this particular intervention was tried at multiple locations in the country, and 15 of them were single center experiments. So as I mentioned, if you look at traditional agriculture, it covers all the 3 major verticals of agriculture, that is crop, animal, and fisheries. And it covers so much information across different sub-subjects. It covers crops and varieties, it covers rainfall, it talks about soil types and preparation, it talks about sowing and farming operations, nourishment and growth, and so on and so forth, including storage and preservation. So whoever is interested can look at these texts and identify which should be your subject area of interest and take it forward. Coming on to agriculture, see, in today's context, we are all very rational beings. We would like to find evidence of our time, and that's the reason we are trying to promote our research and innovation on based on our traditional knowledge. So if you look at this particular intervention called Kunab Jala from our traditional text, it is mentioned in Krishi Parashara. It is also mentioned in Krishi Ayurveda, Vriksha Ayurveda. This Kunab Jala happens to be the world's oldest fermented liquid organic manure. So originally, whatever was found as a waste in the farmer's field, namely animal bones, marrow, blood, fish, sesame cakes, germinated beans, rice husk, honey, ghee, everything was put together. It was fermented, and this Kunab Jala was used thereafter. And over the years, we have become very conscious of many things. And in the year 2004, 2012, Professor Bayal Naini from the GB Panth University, he later founded this Asian Agri History Foundation. He developed what is called the herbal Kunab Jala. So in this, all the animal waste was left out and only the plant waste was used. And he had added some weeds which were known to have fungicidal and insecticidal properties. And this herbal Kunab Jala was tested across different crop types by the Asian Agri History Foundation as well as the GB Panth University. So what they found is that the productivity increases by at least 20 to 30% using the herbal kunab jala, which works both as a biofertilizer as well as the growth promoter. Are my slides moving?
Yes,
Kunab
ma'am.
jala-
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, they are
Yes,
moving.
ma'am.
All right. So continuing with the Kunamchana, if you look at the literature, as I mentioned, you look at the old times, you look at the review articles, you look at research articles, you'll find there are so many of them. As I mentioned, the initial one was mentioned in Krishi Parashara and Vriksha Ayurveda. Later on, we found that it is also mentioned in Lokopakara, in Sarangadhara Paddhati, in Vishwavallabha, and many others. And the different varieties are in Safari, Mushika Kunapa, Kukuta Kunapa, Sarangadhara.
You are mute, ma'am.
Ma'am, you are mute.
Yeah, I would like to mention if you keep talking and opening up your mics, what happens is our IT will be muting all, and I would also get muted in the process, and I would have to come out of my slides each time, and actually that disturbs the flow of presentation. I would request all of you to please keep yourself on mute. We will take up
Ma'am, there is a
questions and
mic issue.
interaction.
Mic issue is there.
Are you not able to hear me, Piyush?
Yes, yes.
In fact, I
You're
want
able
to
to
make
hear,
a,
right?
I
Yes,
want to
yes,
make a
ma'am.
folded-handed call to every participant. Please, for God's sake, mute yourself. You are disturbing the presenter time and again, which is not good. I mean, I've been seeing all of you talking all your own things. This is a very serious event going on. Please respect the presenter. My humble request to everyone who is participating, please. Thank you.
Yes. Please,
Yeah,
ma'am, proceed.
so this particular Kunajala was not just studied from the ancient texts. They were experiments done. I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Please proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So the experiments done by different scientists, research groups, and they found that almost all the different varieties of Kanamchana was either equivalent or had superior effects for the crop productivity. So you can find all of this information in the references that I have mentioned here with. When we talk of this ancient agricultural practices, I would also like to draw your attention to the fact that when we talk of today's modern science and
Ma'am,
technology,
you are not audible again.
am
No,
I?
sir, ma'am is audible. Please check your system. Ma'am, proceed, please.
All right. So there is information regarding seed germination. So here they talk about, seed with hard pericarp, like tamarind or something similar. So what they do is that they take, the powder of Triphala, which I had mentioned, that contains Terminalia chebula, Bellerica, and as well as Philanthus amplica, that is amla. They take triphala, they take sesame seeds, they take barley, they take black gram, and then they soak it with turmeric. So once this fermented mixture is, the seed is put into this one, it has found to improve the seed germination. And this information you can find in Vriksha Ayurveda. Similarly, grafting, we all think that grafting is something new that has been developed in more recent times. If you look at Varahamira's Brihat Samhita, you will find information that, they would take trees from one country to the other or from one location to the other by grafting. So what they do is that they smear from root to the stem with ghee, antapagon, sesame, honey, vidanga, milk, and cow dung. And this, makes the plant, viable, and that is how they go and then transport and then regrow the tree in a different location. So all of this information you can find in our ancient text. Coming to oral traditional knowledge, because when we talk of farmers, there's so much of information which is passed on orally. A particular example again from one of the texts of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. This is related to the foot and mouth disease in cattle. It is called the FMD. It's quite prevalent in cattle. And here there is a particular community of farmers from the Navapada district of Orissa who practice a very different intervention where they mix harida, that is Terminalia cebula, with bahada, which is Terminalia valerica. Okay, and they mix it with water and they apply this one after boiling the mixture, okay, on the cattle wherever the disease is spread. So what the Department of Veterinary Medicine of West Bengal University of Animal and Fishery Sciences did is they connected with the KVK of Kalahandi, Bhavanipatna from Orissa, and they did a very thorough experimentation. What they did is like similar to a clinical trial. They had 5 groups of cows. The first one was the untreated control. The second one was this particular intervention where they mixed harida and bahida together. Then they had the third group was one which had the paste of the root barks of Kerala tree. There was a fourth group wherein the animals were treated with neem oil, and the fifth one had the conventional therapy Baxivate. And after doing the controlled study, the researchers found that the use of this particular intervention was very effective in controlling FMD. The difference between that and the Baxivate therapy was that in the Indian knowledge systems method, it took about 5 to 6 days for the animals to recover from the disease, whereas using the Baxivate, the animals recovered within 4 to 5 days. Similarly, there's another experiment that was being done using banana pseudostem for increasing the productivity of fish. So here, fish rearing. So here, what they found is that this is again from one of an intervention from Orissa. They see that about 80% of the farmers from in this area, they follow this practice of adding banana pseudostems to the fish ponds. So they did a thorough study of that, and they found that by doing it, it adds on different minerals like zinc, copper, calcium, iron, magnesium, manganese, and so on and so forth. It increases the pH or hardness and alkalinity of the pond water, and thereby it helps in increased pH and oxygenation, and therefore the plankton production and is increased. So they found that this is a low-cost solution with available local resources. Again, as I had mentioned, there's a proper study that has been done by this particular group of scientists. So all of this information you will be able to find from the ICR text. When we talk of agriculture, if we do not touch upon the water conservation methods, it would be incomplete. So you will look at our traditional practices. Again, you look at the different review articles, you will find that each of the location, different regions in the country, they have their own, water conservation methods. So this conservation methods could be based on the rainwater or floodwater storages, and they also have appropriate structures and frameworks for the for each of the location. It could be based on climate. It could be based on the amount of rainfall that the particular region receives, the geographical location, the soil and local materials, and so on and so forth. I will not read out the rest of the information, but to say that, depending on whether it is Trans-Himalayan or the Brahmaputra Valley or the islands, each one of the communities have developed their own water conservation methods. Of course, when you talk of the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, you will have, stepples even in those days. So these are the kind of structures that had been wells, that had been developed even in those times, considering that water happens to be one of the prime resources based, per human life. We will quickly move over to water conservation, but in the context of engineering. So when you talk of our traditional knowledge, in the 2nd century CE of Karigala Chola, the Kallanai Dam, that is the Grand Anicut, was built. And this is still kind of, you can go and have a look at it in Tiruchi. So this is considered as the most ancient water conservation construction globally, and it is critical for irrigation and water management. So as I mentioned, it was built in the 2nd century CE during the Chola period. And this was to divert the waters of Kaveri River, which was very huge at that point of time, across the Tanjavur Delta region for irrigation. Because when it floods, the farmers' fields are waterlogged, and then there's loss of productivity and therefore the livelihoods as well. So they built this, anicut, the Kallanai, and at that point of time, only the unhewn stone, it was used along with some cementing material. So what had, I mean, the estimates from recent times, they say that it initially irrigated about 69,000 acres of land, and now it irrigates close to 1 million acres of land. And there was a very detailed study by Dr. Chitra Krishnan from IIT Delhi. And she looked at it not only from an archaeological perspective, but also in terms of the hydraulic research, hydraulic sciences. So what she had identified is that I mean, because it had gone through a lot of repairs and reconstructions also, the curved shape of the masonry section offers a very peculiar design. Not only that, it has a sloping crest and an irregular descent from front to rear. So I think that's the reason it's been able to bear with the water flow even during high flood times. So this particular Kallanai, which was built in the 2nd century AD, second century AD, underwent in between repairs and all that in 1804, 1829, and also in the 19th century. And in the 19th century, there was a lower Anicut dam that was built across Kollidam. It has a replicated structure of the Kallanai Dam, the original. Moving over to the step wells, I know there's a lot of step wells across the country, and some from the Rajasthan and Gujarat area, have received great prominence. In fact, the picture that I have picked up is from the Rani Kawab, the Queen Step Well at Patan, Gujarat. So if you look at it, there is difference in the typology, the shape, the dimensions, the purpose for it. So if you look at the step wells, it is to provide drinking water for irrigation and agriculture, water reservoir, and a cool retreat as well. So there's a secondary purpose, of course, which will not go into the details of it, but architecture. So when you look at this water management system, you will have so much information there that you can look at it from an architecture perspective or from a water conservation perspective, or it could be from, the anthropology perspective of, what went through when our ancestors built such magnificent structures. So when you look at it, even from an engineering perspective, what is reported is that these were built with sustainable materials, and they were all with the design for resilience, longevity, and of course the aesthetic appeal. And it is largely constructed in arid or semi-arid regions, and it is resilient to earthquakes of even magnitude 7.6. And when we talk of sustainable materials, they had used stones, bricks, lime, mud, wood, and other resources. So some of the advanced engineering features included underground tunnels, chambers, even decorative items for aesthetic appeal, and so on and so forth. So when you look at all of this and you look at the water management systems, you look at it from insights of not just, as I mentioned, from the water conservation techniques, but also in the context of the hydraulic engineering. Say, for example, some of these steppers have been drawing from deep aquifers, okay, because they had been built so deep inside the earth. And they are used for both small scale as well as intermittent irrigation. In fact, in certain of the cases, what they had noticed was that they had used lifting tools, that is Persian wheels and so on and so forth, to take out water from the step wells and then help in providing water for irrigation. In certain of the cases, like Hampi, they found that the step wells are already integrated into the irrigation networks with surface drains. So there is a lot of information even related to these that could be studied in greater depth. Moving on, I would like to touch upon metallurgy and allied areas. Again, when you talk of traditional metallurgy, unlike agriculture, unlike food, unlike the Indian systems of medicine, you will not find focused text on metallurgy. There is mention of many of the information in Rig Veda, in Ramayana, in Mahabharata, and so on and so forth. But you will not find a textbook related to traditional metallurgy. And if you look at it, it has largely been practiced by the artisans in the country from different regions. Say, for example, one I would like to talk about is the Ukku or the wood steel. And this wood steel in recent scientific experiments has been found to be a high grade, ultra high carbon steel. And this was initially produced by the crucible processes in southern India. Some say Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Karnataka, and so on and so forth. And here, what they do is that first they prepare porous iron, they hammer it when it is still hot to release the slag, then they add wood chips and then again burn it. And repeatedly, when you do that, what happens is that the steel that is produced will have a uniform composition. And here in this case, about 1 to 1.6% carbon. And this could be heated, forged into bars, and so on and so forth. This wood steel gained a lot of prominence, especially during the medieval times, because this was the steel that was used in the Damascus forts. Again, the Damascus forts are, again, very famous traditional artifacts. And here, the importance of the Damascus sword was that it could cut skills off with the same ease as that of a human head or even wood. So that is the skills with which fine artifacts of metals were formed, and the metallurgy was highly advanced in our country. Again, a few examples of metal alloys are from Kerala. Again, only a glimpse is the Aranmula metal mirror. So generally, all of us are used to glass mirrors. And here from Kerala, you have what is called the metal mirror, which does not use any glass. So this metal mirror is made by casting root having tin, zinc, phosphorus, iron, and nickel, and some small amount of copper. And even today, there were a lot of IITs that have done different kind of studies on this Aranmula mirror. It is still being practiced by a particular family community from Kerala. The scientific studies have not been able to replicate the Aranmula mirror as being made by the artisans. Certain of the bronzes that have been developed in the country are very, very unique. For example, if you take the Kadavallur eating bowl, it is made by the thermomechanical process having tin, lead, zinc, phosphorus, and copper. If you take the Swami Malai Mannar icons, it is largely it has about 20% tin, and it is made by the lost wax process. And here the three metals used for this generally is copper, brass, and lead. The Panchaloha, of course, contains gold and silver, and depending on the region, the amounts may vary. In fact, the earliest evidence of brass in India had 70% copper, 6% zinc, and 0.9% iron. And this, they found that there was no similar kinds across the world. From a chemical engineering perspective, the example that I would like to talk to you is about zinc smelting from Zawar. And when we talk of zinc, there's been mentioned in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Griha Sutra, Arthashastra, and so on and so forth. And it is known by the name of Yashoda. In fact, when the Takshashila was excavated, they found bangles, vase, and pot that contained brass objects. And it had very high zinc content, almost close to about 34%. And in the 9th and 10th century, the Persian scholars talked about zinc as Tutiya. The Abdullah talks about the Indian variety Tutiya as a preferred one because it is made of from the vapor of tin is what it says. And Abdul Fazal, he talks about the zinc mines of Zawar. So when we talk of this zinc smelting, what is very unique is about the way the zinc has been smelted. So here what they have seen is that the Zawar mines revealed different kinds of ores, and even they also found different kinds of tools and instruments that have been structures that have been used for the zinc smelting. So here what they have also found is they have a reduction distillation chamber called the Brintak. It is like a inverted brinjal like structure. So here the process is very unique. We need to appreciate this zinc smelting that we are talking about had an industrial scale production during the 11th and 12th century in the country, and it is following this very unique downward distillation process. It uses inverted retorts. It has a constant temperature around, and the zinc vapors are collected in vessels placed in the lower chamber so that the temperature is lowered. And they also found that along with the ore, common salt was also used as a charge. So you could understand that there is a lot of complexity associated and perhaps a lot of thought process that went into while preparing while smelting zinc and making it a manufacturing process. So in fact, the wood steel that I talked to you about previously, it not only talked about how it has been made in the southern part of our country, but how it had traveled across the world, and as I have mentioned, to Persia and to Rome and to Greece, and this is all using intervention that has been developed by our artisans. So when you talk of the modern text where you could find greater information, you could look at certain of these texts, the minerals and metals in pre-modern India, minerals and metals in ancient India, and so on and so forth, because it would give you an easy reading, and then you can dive deeper for the ancient text. Then, when we talk of metallurgy, engineering, architecture also becomes very important. The architecture today, when we talk of architecture, it is a living tradition. You can still see the temples around. You can see those magnificent, places that have been, the palaces and so on and so forth. And one particular example that I would like to talk to you about today is the Tanjavur Brihadishwara temple. So here the artistic excellence is from the architecture, the sculpture, the painting, the bronze and stone images, the idols within, and also the inscription. You can see the inscriptions on around the temple walls. In fact, the IGNCA, that is Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, has developed a multimedia DVD of this Brihadishwara temple, where they have touched upon each part of the temple, right from the dome to the shikhara to the foundations. And it also not only talks about only the temple, it also talks about the different sculptures that are there in the inner wall. So, I believe they were about 108 stone blocks as per the Bharata's Natya Shastra, but only 81 dance karanas were carved out and the remaining were left unfinished. When we talk of architecture, again, Shilpa Shastras become very, very important. Even if you look at simple texts like Silpa Shastram or Narada Silpa Shastra, you will find that there's again a lot of thought that has gone into constructing, and also there's a lot of information on material science, right from the site selection to the orientation to the planning to the proportions and foundations. Today we talk of architecture planning, urban planning, and so on and so forth. You would see elements of those thoughts that have been mentioned in these texts. So right from rituals to timings to even social considerations, everything has been given due thought process. So when you talk of, again, this architecture of Manasara, there are critical engineering aspects that are mentioned in this particular text. You could go into the details of it. One particular example that I would like to draw your attention to is about the kind of information that has been mentioned, right from measurement systems. We talk about standardized units, about ratios, material selection depending on what you want to construct and how do you want to construct the foundations, the columns, and multi-story design and all that. So it's not just about what to do, but there are also information as to what not to do also. Say, for example, in this particular thing, when they were talking about wood joining and the joints and all that, they have clearly mentioned that some kinds of wood are strictly forbidden to be joined with some others. It tells about, the logical way, perhaps at that point of time, it's been experiential science, but that is what went into defining what has been mentioned in all these shastras and the different other texts. Similarly, in the Brahmanta Purana, they talk about the construction of buildings, and they say that the Sala tree played an important part in the ancient ideas of housing. So it talks about the enclosure, and it also talks about the different the aspects of civil engineering. Say, for example, they say the enclosure for excrement is a quarter all around. After those places have been made, the houses and dwellings have been constructed. So there's a lot of thought that has been given to human hygiene and sanitation as well. So in fact, the statement says they thought over it again and again about the trees designated as their houses and as to how they were before and began to build like them. So they look at the tree as an inspiration, and that is how they had. So the Sala tree played a very important role in defining the architectural structure for building constructions. So when we talk of architecture, it's not all those huge, magnificent buildings. Something as simple as this Tabormand Monastery. In fact, this is called the Ajanta of the Himalayas. This is just a mud building made of cob. It has raw earth, it has water, it has fibrous materials. It's a 10th century building. And even now, it is there weathering all the different weather conditions of that particular region. There has been a valuable collection of frescoes, that is mural paintings and tankas adorning this particular monastery. Some other very traditional and very humble constructions have been the traditional bungas. So these are again made out of mud bricks and tree branches. Sometimes when required, they have an iron beam on the wall as a support system. And this particular bungas, the traditional bungas, found its place during the earthquake of 2001 in Bhuj and also during the Kosi floods in Bihar. So it is like, the utility of our traditional knowledge finds its place even now. So far, we have been largely focused on, science, engineering, technology, and so on and so forth. But when we talk of cultural expressions, the art and culture that becomes very, very important. In fact, this particular article talks about the 52 incredible Indian folk art forms, but they are much more, which needs, a lot of support and so when we talk of again continuing with the cultural expressions, you have the performing arts, that is dance, music, and theater. So it's not just a form of entertainment. The performing arts has been used extensively for communicating, especially societal themes like human health, environment, literacy, family planning, and so on and so forth. Some examples that I have picked up is the Yakshagana from Karnataka. So here it is about this particular case. It was about the environmental consciousness. Bharatanatyam was enacted to kind of talking about the Yashodhara, the wife of Lord Buddha. The Indian classical music therapy was found to be a therapeutic tool, and this was actually done scientifically to see what happens when music is used as a therapy. Language, of course, today we are able to communicate to each other as human beings. We are social animals. We need to have the constant touch. Unfortunately, many of our Indian languages are found to be endangered languages, including the dialects. So the government of India has again taken an initiative, especially the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, to identify the language primers and further develop it. So here's a list from the different tribal regions and how the languages and the tribes are being covered. last but not the least is about the governance and administration, the management and political strategies. Arthashastra by Kautilya has been found to be a very, very important book. In fact, it is, they say that, it is about the importance of maintaining the right balance between welfare of the people and augmenting the resources of the state. So it is more about a political strategy. So when Shama Shastri ji from Mysore found the original manuscript of Arthashastra and he translated into English, the first 4 editions, were largely bought by foreigners, and that is how the book went into print. Again, like how I had started with the Indian systems of medicine and saying there's a logic, there's a flow of thought in the text, you would find the same thing given in Arthashastra. So there are 15 chapters, of course, each is called a book, but these are the different chapters, right from discipline to duties of government superintendent to the conduct of courtiers, the sixfold policy, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of information that has been mentioned here. In fact, one of the authors says that Arthashastra as an art and science of governance, diplomacy, and as well as what. But what is important for us here is to understand that there are 4 important sciences that is mentioned through the Arthashastra. That is Anvikshaki, that is the logical philosophy or science of inquiry, the triple Vedas, Bhakti, that is agriculture, cattle breeding and trade, and the Dandaniti, that is the science of governance or government. And here Anvikshaki becomes very important because we are talking about the science of inquiry. It's about the curiosity, the jigyasa that helps us to identify what is the kind of knowledge that we desire. So I will come back to again talk about the Nyaya Shastras and say that the science of reasoning has been the foundation of large part of our ancient text and knowledge, our traditional knowledge. There are different kinds, they are in this particular thing, they talk about 16 categories, pramana, prameya, shamshaya, prayojana, and so on and so forth. So it is important to have a relook at it. And I think this is the right time because of the national education policy, the UGC has put in place the guidelines for incorporating IKS in the higher education. ACT has also brought in the minor degree in universal forms and the universal human values, sorry about that. And of course, we have the IKS division from the Ministry of Education for providing a lot of funding opportunities. I believe we will be able to, take forward, protect, preserve, and promote our traditional knowledge systems of our country together. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patient listening.
Yes, ma'am. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम for your session. So we request all of you, please take your part from this session and incorporate in your particular discipline. So now we will complete the assessment within 8 to 10 minutes. Then we will come back to ma'am for the next session, that is the question and answer session. So I'm sharing the link.
मेल पर लिंक करने सर आप?
Yes, I am going to upload in the Google folder also.
If you share the link here in the chat.
In the chat box, I am going to.
Yes, sir, that will be better.
Yeah,
Yes.
that will be better.
Yes, please.
Sir, आपके chat, sir, the chat box options are not seen. Hello.
The chat box is not opening.
I know some of you don't have the access in the chat box. For that, I am going to upload in the folder also. Yes, in the
Piyush,
folder.
you can also showcase. Yeah.
Yes, I can also showcase through PPT. I'll put the link and QR code also. So you can scan with your mobile or you can just write. It's a tiny URL. Easily you can
Sir, कहाँ से मिलेगा
read and
ये?
write. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Before that, I just copy and paste multiple times in the chat box. It is easy to find. Then I'm going to present through PPT once again.
Sir, good afternoon. This
My
is
name is
Dr.
Ashok, sir.
Sir, good afternoon. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, this is Dr. Anjana Tiwari from NITTTR Bhopal. Sir, yesterday around 4:30, there was no electricity and internet in the institute as well as in the campus. So I was unable to take this assignment of yesterday. And the assessment which you give after the session.
चलिए सर मेरे साथ भी यही प्रॉब्लम हुआ कल मेरे को नेटवर्क का इतना इशू था कि मैं ज्वाइन ही नहीं कर पाई.
If you can send it to us, we'll definitely do it today or after today's session.
So
We are extremely
that's
sorry for the trouble.
no problem. So we'll look into that. And for assessment, the time is gone. You can complete from today onward. Okay.
Okay,
There is
sir.
the final assessment. Please
Okay.
complete
Sir.
from today. You
Sure,
will
sir.
reach that criteria. Astu?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you
Sir,
so much.
very
And
good
here
evening.
is the assessment
Sir,
link. You
please
can
share
read
link on chat box.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
link
Today,
Sir, please
Excuse me,
share
sir.
in
You have
the
sent the
chat
QR
box.
code. How to scan
yes,
this
I'm
QR
going.
code?
Yes, QR code. I'm going to.
My name is Ashok, sir.
See if I copy if I use the chat box. Can you see my PPT right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we
Yes, sir.
can do both. I am copying here and I am also sharing the PPT. Okay. Chalo.
Sir, it is
So
not opening in my.
if it is not opening, please copy
Yes.
and use in the yes, ma'am.
You're showing your screen. You're not showing that PPT. Yeah, now it is good. Yeah.
But it is not opening.
Sir,
But
please send
it will not
that in
open.
chat box.
I'm unable to open it.
how to open?
Now what you do is that
Sir,
he has
ये
given that
mail पे टेस्ट क्या कर
HTTPS,
दीजिए
right?
ना.
Yeah,
Sir,
just
it's work.
listen. Yeah, just
It's opening.
copy.
Sir,
It's working.
send yesterday, sir. Same like that. Send yesterday in like that chat box.
It is already there in the chat box. Just connect on that.
No, madam. No.
But
I'm
it
in
is
chat
there.
box only.
One second.
This chat
Second
isn't
thing,
No, it
See,
was
madam.
not there in the chat box.
please, whoever is facing problem, just write na https. You can just type. It's a tinyurl.com. Then slash there are 2x, 5n, 8x, z8. You can just see and write.
Pardon?
Please just see and type in your system.
Time, sir, I have my system and it takes time, sir. Is it okay?
It's done, sir.
Yes, please. Thank you.
सर मुझे असेसमेंट लिंक नहीं मिला प्लीज दोबारा भेज दीजिए मेरी चैट एकदम
Can you see the PPT?
नहीं सर आई कैन नॉट सी प्लीज कैन यू सेंड मी ऑन माय व्हाट्सएप सर सर मुझे नहीं मिल
Ma'am,
रहा
can
है
you are in the meeting na? Is the PPT visible?
सर मीटिंग इज विजिबल
Yes,
बट
sir.
चैट इज नॉट विजिबल
No,
No,
can
we
you
are
see
not
the?
sent anything by the WhatsApp. You know, it is not possible to send anything on the
मैम
WhatsApp.
मैम प्लीज सेंड इन चैट इफ आई कैन सी
Madam, it is
Yeah, I
not
request
available in the
all of
chat box,
you to
madam.
please not add
Hello?
any comments in the chat. Let
Hello?
the assessment link be seen.
Ma'am, it's totally blank. Chat is totally blank at my screen.
Then you log off and log in again.
Ma'am, I did it. I joined
Excuse me,
again.
sir. Sir, I have typed this link, but it is again not opening. What should I do?
Please copy the link and use in another another server, another window.
So send
Okay.
again, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have done that. I have typed it, but it
So
is not
copying
opening.
also
What should I do?
chat is
Hello,
not
hello, hello,
opening.
hello, hello. Good evening. Good
Sorry.
evening, all.
Sir,
Good evening,
please
all.
send.
Sorry for my. Good evening, all.
It's
Sorry for my
not.
interruptions. This is
No.
a government. This is. Sir, allow me some time because I'm listening from the very beginning. This is so disturbing, sir. This is so disturbing. This is a government institution. Like we have to, as we are teacher, we should know how to decorum. And if you will join late, this will be not visible. And sir is saying, be patient. And it is disturbing to other faculties also.
So what you are doing, that is also part of that. Please, it's a
Yes, sir,
assessment
I can
session.
understand, but this is so
Yes.
disturbing, sir. I have to say, and sorry for interrupting. And please be patient,
Please,
and we will
please,
make it.
please
Thank you,
keep
sir. Thank you.
silence during the assessment session. You can raise your query after the assessment session. Please keep
Excuse me,
silence.
sir. Excuse
Please
me,
keep
sir.
silence for another 4 minutes. Please keep silence.
In question number 1, we are selecting the option, but it is not going to be selected.
Yes, we'll see that. Please keep silence.
Option 2, please take the option 2. We are selecting, but it's not.
फॉरवर्ड दिखा था, आपके में तो दिखा था, ये देखो।
कहाँ दिखा था? ये नहीं दिख रहा है। हाँ, मेरे के लिए देखना क्या? वो लास्ट में बस दिख रहा है, वही। इसके बाद
Question number 1.
Yes, ma'am. We will look into that issue. Also, please do whatever you have.
वो तो ऑनलाइन
नहीं हो रहा है सर।
अभी देखो, ये देखो।
सर लिंक नहीं मिल रही अभी भी।
Can you see the PPT, please?
Open नहीं
Is
हो
it
रहा है।
visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So it's visible to everyone. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Sir, I'm
Not
done.
open.
May I leave?
Yeah.
Could you please let me know where to check for the PPT?
I have typed the tinyurl.com the link. If anybody wants, you can copy and paste it.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Hello, namaste, sir. Yesterday, from where I get the yesterday corrected answer?
क्या वो लीव कर सकते हैं?
Yesterday answer. Sir, you are mute. Your answer is not audible.
Sir, can we have access to the PPTs that have been discussed today and yesterday? हमें PPTs मिलेंगे क्या?
Yes. PPT will be uploaded in the same Google Drive where you are accessing PPTs, recording everything. Na? Everything will be uploaded there.
Thank you, Piyush sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sir, can we log off? क्या भी और कुछ भी और है? Can we log off? कि something is there?
You may leave if you have completed. You don't have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I have completed. Thank
Sir,
you,
I didn't. Sir, I didn't.
So
Sir,
can we get yesterday's assignment?
good evening,
also?
sir.
I am not able to select the answer.
No,
good evening, sir. I didn't
yesterday
get
assignment
link
time is gone.
in the chat box, sir.
Just complete today's assessment and go forward the next days also.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I didn't get link, sir, in the chat box till now.
So please access the Google folder. Link is uploaded there.
Google
Sir, a
folder.
small suggestion, sir.
The mail which you have received for the meeting links, there is a master folder shared. You can access that folder. Everything is there. Assessment link also.
Not get it, sir. Now I am in online, sir. Hello.
Yeah. 1 second.
Sir, I didn't get any mail, sir.
So just write to us. We'll sort it out. Your problem, we'll sort it out.
सर कोई
differently.
WhatsApp ग्रुप बनाया है क्या?
Please, we write to us. No, there is no policy to make a WhatsApp group. Please, please write to us. We'll sort your problem. Okay. Now it's 4:50. So we can proceed to the next session. Ma'am, with your permission, you can just start. Then we can keep questions.
Sir, this one. Please, problem, sir. How to complete this one?
Oh, you are not able to access chat, no? That's your problem, no? Please write to me. I will share the link. Okay.
Sir, this is Rajalakshmi from Auxilium College, sir.
Yes.
Yesterday I have received mail at 4:30 only, sister, sir. So I cannot join yesterday program. So I didn't complete the yesterday assignment. Is there any compulsory to complete the assignment like that, sir?
Yes, you have to complete daily assessment. Okay.
But yesterday
Yeah,
at
so
4:30 only I have
can you
That's
please share
okay.
yesterday's
That's okay because you have to get 75% marks all over. So start from today and complete the rest of the assessment. I hope you will reach 75%. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, but I have received a mail only at 4:30, sir.
No, that's a reminder
Kanti
mail.
sir, can you please share the yesterday's assignment because that has been missed by a lot of people.
Yes, yes, sir.
Please.
Hello.
Day
Please.
one has been missed
Sir,
because
please.
of the. If you can share, people
Please
can attempt
presentation.
that as well.
Ma'am, everyone has the access to speak. It does not mean you will take that advantage. Please, you may write your problem. We will sort it out differently. Okay. If there are 50%, we have to first go by the rule. Then we'll sort your problem also. Okay, ma'am. Please write to us
Sir,
through mail. Please write to us through mail and let us to start the question and answer session. Okay. Ma'am or sir, Anil sir, you are here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Could you please
I'm here, Priyesh.
come? So
All right,
pranam
thank
to all.
you,
Pranam to
everybody.
all. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Priyesh, go ahead.
Yes, pranam to all. So please raise your digital hand so we can pick questions one by one. Please raise your hand. We will call out the names, then you can unmute and ask your questions. First one is Dr. Devnath.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please proceed.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, you have told that Indian classical dances have therapeutic values. So for my knowledge goes, all types of tribal dances and folk dances have also therapeutic values, isn't it?
I have only given an example, as I had mentioned. I only used, the Bharatanatyam and Yakshagana to kind of say that, you can have different, objectives for a particular cultural expression. So the Yakshagana is again a tribal art form. Okay, it has been, used in the particular reference for environmental consciousness. In the context of the Bharatanatyam that I had mentioned, the Yashodhara, it is all about women empowerment through, portraying Yashodhara in the context of Lord Buddha. And the music therapy that I had mentioned is about a scientific study that has been used where music has found to be having a therapeutic profile. So these are only examples I have been mentioning right from the beginning of my talk. This is not the entire Indian knowledge systems. We are trying to only give you a glimpse into the expanse of our traditional knowledge system.
Okay, got it. Got it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yes. Next, Amurtha
Good afternoon.
KG.
Good afternoon.
Please let us go one by one. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Buddhadev Gorai from Kolkata. I have a little question, ma'am. How we validate the traditional knowledge?
It depends on, right, what kind of traditional knowledge that you're talking about. So the examples that I had given is, say, for example, it's a scientific intervention. You can plan a scientific studies on that. If in case it is about a living tradition, you look and study the living tradition. So this is how you will be able to validate our traditional knowledge. I will not be able to give you a specific method because the knowledge system itself is so wide and very broad. You'll have to pick a particular topic and then plan about, how you would want to look at it and what kind of validation it requires.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Then Amurtha ji, are you there? Next, Bhanu Prakash ji.
Namaste, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
It was good. It was good presentation, ma'am, covering all the areas like architecture, medicine, all.
Unmute.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please state your query.
It was good presentation covering all the different areas. I have a doubt in metals. Like I heard that aluminium was brought by Britishers to poison our people, like who were arrested and kept in the jails. So is it true? If it is true, still aluminium is underused. Why it is still we are using?
I would not be able to.
Unmute, madam.
Ma'am, kindly unmute.
Yeah, and so far in whatever we have seen, I don't think we have.
Muted, ma'am, again. Yes.
Yeah. Anil, would you like to comment on, did you identify aluminum in any of our work related to the TKDL documentation?
Can you please repeat the question because your voice was
No, Anil, what he's,
Hello?
was there a mention of aluminum in any of our traditional texts?
Hello? Ma'am, am I
Sir,
audible?
my question was about aluminium as a metal. It was not Indian usage. We were using copper, brass, and gold, silver. Suddenly, after the British came, the aluminium was underused. So it was intentionally brought to make the jailers, first the jailers captured jail, they were served in the aluminium vessels to make a slow poison. Is it true or not?
Yes, yes. If you see the ancient text related to metals, the mention of aluminium is not there. The aluminium, the mentioning of aluminium we find in the later text that are available. So initially it was not known. I mean, it was not in practice in India. That's correct.
Yeah, while we say that we want to clarify about the story, we will not, kind of conform with the story or related to poisoning and all that. I don't
Those
think we
things.
have that knowledge. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Madam, Vriksha Ayurveda books are available in online, madam.
Vriksha
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, you can get a copy of it from Asian Agri History Foundation. Okay, they are selling the copy of Vriksha Ayurveda at a very nominal price.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
मैम मेरी एक क्वेश्चन थी।
हाँ जी, बताइए क्या नाम है? पहले आप अपना
हाँ,
नाम
बोलिना।
बताइए।
बोलिना।
हाँ, बोलो।
मैम एक्चुअली जो भी हम लोग आज के डेट में यूज करते हैं, जो भी रिसोर्स हो चाहे रिसर्च हो, जो भी यूज कर, सारा इसका मतलब सारे कुछ हमारे एंशियंट नॉलेज से ही हम लोग लेके आए हैं। कुछ नया नहीं, मतलब अलग से कुछ नहीं है, पुराना जो भी था वेद में
ट्रेडिशनल
जो भी
नॉलेज इज नेवर अ स्टैटिक। देवलीना जी, आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज इज नेवर बीन अ स्टैटिक नॉलेज। ओके, इट हैज चेंज्ड विद द टाइम and as per the requirements of the time also. So when
मतलब
we say
वेद में जो
traditional
भी
knowledge,
उल्लेख है, जो भी वेद में है, वेद पुराणों में जितने सारे हमारे उल्लेख है, सारी चीज, चाहे वो डांस हो, चाहे वो थेरेपी हो, चाहे वो आपका प्रिजर्वेशन हो, कंजर्वेशन हो, सारा कुछ मतलब उसी को हम लोगों ने मतलब मॉडिफाइड रूप में आज के डेट में यूज कर रहे हैं ना, उसमें थोड़ा मॉडिफिकेशन आया है।
So I would not say everything is modified because it depends on, what the context is, right? See, अगर आप भरतनाट्यम की बात करते हैं, तो, it has evolved into different forms based on the guru. Same thing with yoga also. Okay, but when you talk of a medicine, medicine cannot keep changing different because the guru feels differently. It is about the physician identifying what the problem could be with the patient. That's the reason, the physician sits with the patient, understands, listens to him or her, and then does the diagnosis and then the medication. तो हर चीज के लिए एक specificity होता है, तो उसके हिसाब से you will have to understand whether, traditional knowledge is used as is or it has evolved with time.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू। और ये जो है, ये जो ड्राइव शेयर किया, ये कैसे हमको एक्सेस करने को मिलेगा?
वो आपको लिंक भेजा गया होगा कल, है ना, एक सेट ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस। पीयूष जी, कल व्हाट यू डू इज दैट एज अ फर्स्ट स्लाइड यू गिव ऑल द इंस्ट्रक्शंस। पीयूष, आई थिंक दे विल बी,
मैं हॉस्पिटल में हूँ अभी, तो कुछ नेटवर्क के वजह से ना डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा है, इसलिए मैं सारा कुछ प्रॉपर्ली गो थ्रू नहीं कर पाई।
ये सारा जो वीडियो है ना, वी विल अपलोड इट द वीडियो आल्सो टू द यूट्यूब। ओके, यू कैन सिट एट योर लीजर एंड लिसन टू द एंटायर लेक्चर, बिकॉज बार बार एक ही चीज बताना हमारे लिए भी मुश्किल हो जाएगा।
पॉसिबल नहीं है मैम, ये तो मैं भी समझती हूँ। ये तो मेरे को जो भी गैप हो गए, मेरे को रिकवर करना है।
नहीं, वीडियो अपलोड हो जाएगा, आप देख लीजिएगा।
Yes, all are uploaded.
Sorry for interrupting. Can I get the assessment?
Mama Amrita.
Hello,
sir.
Next, we can go Manisha Ghosh.
Hello,
Manisha
sir.
Ji, are you there?
Namaste, Mama Nama. Namaste, Mama Nama Amrita.
Manisha Ji.
Manisha Ji.
Sir, I am Amrita.
Hey, Amrita जी, आप म्यूट कर लीजिए। We have called Manisha जी, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. I have seen you in CSIR, ma'am, during the conference, and I am also working on traditional knowledge. So now my question is: are the traditional culinary practices considered as traditional documents?
There are, I mentioned about all this Pakadarpanam, Bhojana Kutuhala, Kshema Kutuhala, and there are many other texts also that has been by K.T. Acharya. We have brought out a lot of culinary recipes and as well as methods of the Sangam era and all that. So yes, there are part of, a lot of this information is also part of the text. There is a lot of oral traditional knowledge also.
Okay, ma'am. And the one question is, say in India, various tribal communities are present, and I think there is a gap between these documentation and their culinary traditional practices. I think I am not so much. No, I have not so much knowledge. You can clarify it.
Yeah,
Is there
generally,
any?
these are all practices that have happened within communities for a reason. Generally, they do not share this information also, and sometimes they do share the information. So, if you look at not culinary, but other practices like medicine or anything else, you would do a lot of this ethnobotanical work, ethnomedicinal work, and so on and so forth, right? So that is how people have been able to document all these oral traditional knowledge, particularly in the context of culinary, methods, knowledge. I don't think there has been a systematic effort taken to document that. But having said that, this Honeybee Network from Gujarat, Gandhinagar, Gujarat, this has been founded by Professor Anil K. Gupta ji. They have been doing a program where they have been collecting a lot of these food recipes and methods also. Okay, and one of their initiatives, I have forgotten what that initiative is. It starts with S, but they have been able to do that. So they have documented some information of food and recipes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you take another 2-3 questions?
Yeah, 7 up to 5:15 we will take and then stop.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. So, Hemolata ji, Hemolata Sharma, are you there? Then. Yes, please.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm
Good
Hemlata
evening.
Sharma. I'm professor of economics in Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. First, ma'am, this in one session, it was fully loaded. I mean, there was so much. Means I'm just a beginner in this Indian knowledge system. Means I don't know much, but what I have to say is it is not exactly a question. Maybe you can guide me. Whenever we talk of this Indian knowledge system, in economics, it just goes to Kautilya's Arthashastra, and then it is like, okay. And earlier I was in a FDP, and there when I said, he said, okay, economics is everyday changing. The classical economics that ended with Keynes, and then Keynes economics is now in modern economics is getting ended. So, ma'am, my point is like, is there a future for the people of economics in this Indian knowledge system? I understand, ma'am, you are from sciences. Maybe means I very well understand that. That is why I said it is not a question. I just want a little bit of guidance, or means because students also, when there is some internship program, there were some posters, there some flyers in the university, and they were like, ma'am, हम क्या करेंगे इसमें? So I just wanted to ask you, because you are head, so I understand that you are the best person to answer it. Not in the, it means exactly in economic terms, I'm asking you, just like for subjects in humanities like economics.
Yeah,
Because
Hemlata ji, thank you for your comments. Whatever I provided is only a glimpse of how the vastness of our knowledge is so much more. Yeah, particularly in the context of economics. Of course, we all look up to the Arthashastra, Kautilya's Arthashastra as the Bible of, if I'm allowed to say that, of law and governance and administration and so on and so forth. But when you, again, this is only based on my interactions with the other IKS experts and all that, there are local texts. See, I can give you examples from Tamil. So there is this Tirukkural, there is Silapadikaram, there are texts from the regional languages that also contribute information or the knowledge on our, Indian economics and things like that. You may not find a specific or direct reference to any of these economic parameters that we talk about today, you will have to draw indirect references perhaps from these texts. So I do not know much about I mean, in one of our earlier workshops, there was one of the participants who mentioned about Marathi text related to economics. So I think the search needs to be wider in incorporating and
Sure,
being
ma'am.
inclusive of our regional languages. Perhaps you will find more.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I just want to add another 2 points in the context of economics. There is another book which we are developing, Bharatiya economics. See, you can keep aside the Arthashastra, what you have said regarding Arthashastra. But when we talk about the framework, as yesterday Murthy sir explained, you have to look into that framework and find out in each and every topics within your domain. Okay, so one leading person is P. Kanaga Sabhapati, who is the author of Bharatiya economics, which is going to be developed in 3-4 months. Next 3-4 months, that's the one thing. Another, you can look into the work of BMO Linguistic Lab. BMO Linguistic Lab. You can
I'll
look
write
into
you
their
an
research.
email, sir.
Yes, please.
Piyush, sir,
Please.
I'll write you
I
an
will
email,
share the
then you can
information.
suggest me resources.
Yes.
Mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
Chalatu.
So
Thank
can
you.
you
Yeah, I'll
can
write
you
you an email,
mention
sir.
the
Thank you
books
very
in
much.
the chat box too? Books of economics you have mentioned in the chat box too. It will be really nice of you.
Bharatiya economics. It's
Thank you,
not
ma'am.
published
Thank you very
yet.
much.
It has been started to write. Okay. Astu.
You can just type it out, Piyush, in the
Yes.
chat box. That and as well as Vyoma linguistics.
Yes.
All right.
Next.
So can I ask?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Hello, Dr. Viswajanani. This is Padmaja from Bangalore, Rama Institute, Bangalore. It's a great, insightful session. Ma'am, I've been taking IKS for our MBA students for the last 2 years. Now, as a part of Kautilya's Arthashastra, I do touch upon Saptanga theory and Mandala theory, but I don't know to what extent, these sessions will be taken in a very positive way from the students' point of view, because they're MBA students and they're taking it right now as an open elective. So while I make them do a presentation and I try to link it to the corporate relevance, because moving forward, they will all become first-time managers and leaders in their own way. So is there an abridged version of Kautilya ji's Arthashastra, which can be relevant from the management student's point of view? Because we don't know to what extent we have to cover. We make the syllabus because ours is an autonomous institute. We are affiliated to AICT and we create our own syllabus. लेकिन उसमें क्या important है, क्या important नहीं है, what is relevant? I am confused. This is my 3rd year I'm taking IKS, so I wanted to ask this question to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Padmajaji. I don't think I am the right person who can respond to your query. But having said that, I think Piyush, maybe you could, provide the contact details of the experts in economics. You can write to Piyush, okay, and he will respond to you on email. We'll provide you the contact details of experts who we know, so that you would be able to connect with them, and then the subject matter can be dug a little deeper.
Yeah, because it's so interesting and we would like to cover more, but to what extent it is relevant, because it is covered only for a trimester, 3 months, So I don't know to what extent we are giving the inputs. It is relevant, but whether something more should be given, or am I missing out on something important? That I felt I should ask. If I could get the right inputs for a management graduate for 1 semester, I would be really thankful to IKS and Ministry
I think we should be able to provide you the contact details of other experts.
Yes, just briefly in the context of management, please follow the work of Professor Mahadevan, IIM Bangalore. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I do try to look at. Yes.
Yes, please. then in more details we'll provide. Please write to us. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you,
you.
Dr. Piyush and Madam
Yes.
Viswajanani. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honor to
Dr.
listen to your
Sattigeri.
sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, one last question, Piyush.
Ask, ma'am. Piyush, may I ask?
You're mute. You're mute.
May I ask, Piyush?
Yes, please. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Namaskar. Ma'am, thank you for today's highly insightful session. My question to you is that how can the knowledge preserved in classical Ayurvedic texts covering diet, medicinal plants, cosmetology, etc., be scientifically validated and integrated into modern healthcare while preserving its traditional context? That's my query, ma'am.
Yeah, so the
This is
Ministry
Dr.
of
Ritu Arora from
Ayush.
DM
Yeah, the
College.
Ministry of Ayush is anyway doing all whatever you have told, because if you look at the R&D programs of the Ministry of Ayush and the councils and also the national institutes like the National Institute of Ayurveda in Jaipur, ITRA in Jamnagar, and also All India Institute of Ayurveda, they are looking at, and many others. I'm just giving you a few names. Okay, this is not a complete list. So they are all doing research in terms of the validation. Okay, so we need to understand that when we are talking of Ayurveda or any other traditional knowledge, we are talking of information which could be like thousands of years old. Okay? And when human beings have evolved, and there are many things that have changed around us, from an environment and ecology perspective. I'm sure the plants would have also undergone changes. So it's important for the validation. So the validation again depends on the context and the objectives. So that is what the Ministry of Ayush is doing. If you look at the research portal of Ministry of Ayush, they have compiled all the list of research publications that have being done on the different Ayush systems, that is Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and yoga also. You can find information and you can pick up the appropriate methodology which would be applicable in your case. You're on mute, Rituji, you're on mute.
Wait a minute. Am I audible now? To add on, I came across one of such center, Panchkarma center, that is known as Kaya Kala in Palampur. But it's pretty expensive. And then I have gone through so many things actually. So I have read about it. Ministry of Ayush is doing a lot in this field. I have studied about it. But I think it's my humble submission that these very expensive practices need to reach the commoners via some local bodies, etc. I think
it's a different policy intervention. I don't think this is the forum to discuss that. We have noted your comment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Regards.
Thank you so much. I think Piyush will stop here.
Yes, ma'am. Pranam to all. See you tomorrow. So today's we have learned about the RTK. Tomorrow Anil sir will talk about how we can protect. So IPR. What are the laws? As an advocate, sir will talk about what are the tools to protect traditional knowledge. For example, in the context of writing, copyright, then patent, GI, those are the different classifications of IPR, intellectual property rights and law. So tomorrow we'll look into that. Astu. So we'll close with Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, Ma kaschit dukkhavag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Astu, pranamah, pranam to all, pranam ma'am.
Thank
Pranam
you.
sir.
Thank
See
you
you
so
tomorrow.
much. Namaste to all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Namaste, sir.
Thank
Namaste,
you
ma'am.
so much, ma'am. Such a nice
Thank you, ma'am.